Welcome to the market wrap on. Well, it's actually an interesting point. You're a specialist in the commercial property sector, specialising in Sydney, in the greater western region around Parramatta and all those areas that surround it. Tell me what's actually been going on. I mean, we've had a 6 to 7 months with the COVID virus and how it's impacted on tenants and investors that you look in that space. Are you seeing signs that we're coming out of it, and how is the market treating you at the present moment?
It's been a wonderful period for a couple of reasons. Aside from obviously the tragedy of people's cash flows being impacted and the stresses that develop from that, we're actually seeing a lot of adjustment by SMEs throughout the marketplace. Those SMEs, small medium enterprises, those businesses that were able to were well run before are probably even better run today. Yeah. Their ability to generate profits through the period and or maintain margin, I've seen the best quality businesses probably enhance that. Yeah. That the poorer quality businesses have struggled, and when they've been tenants, and we've observed that as from the multitude of tenants across our management portfolio. So we've really worked hard to identify through COVID where the weak tenants were. Yeah. And take the opportunity to communicate to our owners that they should see this as an opportunity to develop the courage to move on those tenants that are weaker and replace them with tenants that are stronger. Yeah. And so we'll come out of this with portfolio quality, with an improved quality of tenants in our portfolios.
Right. And how's that? I mean, we've seen the impacts of Job Seeker and the support the government's been providing. What do you see happening once this eventually sort of peters away? I mean, they've reduced it so far with a slow reduction of how much they're going to pay. Is that having an impact on some of the businesses that you're managing at the present moment, and how the investors, the people who actually own these investment properties, how do they feel about all that?
Yeah, I think that the average investor or landlord has probably been very grateful for the government's view of as to how to handle this. That they've recognised that if they don't keep businesses alive, then there aren't going to be any tenants and there isn't going to be any rent. So having said that, a lot of tenants who were attached to industries that were just severely impacted, the leisure industries, entertainment, importers from Europe, it wouldn't matter how much support you gave those particular industries or those sectors, they're still going to be impacted quite severely. It wouldn't matter how well the business was run, the industries were just shut down. And that's a terrible thing for those particular sectors. Majority of sectors are returning to normal, and pretty rapidly at the moment. We're seeing recovery of rentals to pre-COVID levels, and now we're having tenants start to pay deferred rents as well. Remember, the deferred rent component was a big story, and that's a liability that a lot of tenants are now having to pay back and commence paying back. So, and they are, by and large, they are. I think it's a fairly good story. I think it was an exciting night last night. The government 100% tax write-off for plant and equipment for business. I mean, that's immediate, 100%. I've never seen that before. So that will undoubtedly give people confidence.
Yeah.
It's good.
Are you seeing more properties being brought into the market, or is there still in the commercial space, is there still a shortage of good quality stock at the present moment? And do you have a lot of investors who are really queuing up to buy?
Good quality investments with 3-4 year leases, the bulk of that term being available. We've got more investors than we've got property to sell.
Wow.
And so we're seeing returns on yields on those particular investments continue to fall, and my expectation is that we'll see them fall further as capital looks to continue to place itself in the industrial and commercial market. I think those sectors are starting to really resonate with the average investor who wants to get out of the residential investment space. I think the general theme over there and that side is capital growth has probably gone for a while in the key metropolitan cities. Sydney's no exception, certainly up and down the East Coast, and rental growth is at best in the residential space flatlining, if not actually outright falling. So as an investment, it's starting to lose its luster, and it's making people look at other sectors.
Okay, so you're actually seeing increasing yields in commercial property space at the present moment, and it looks like it's a far more attractive investment strategy for people to perhaps consider their residential investments versus actually starting to look at the commercial space. I know a lot of people are kind of really don't understand commercial property investment as a very strategic type of investment for cash flow and the long-term growth. A lot of people go with the safety of residential, but unfortunately the growth is not there, and especially the yields are certainly not there. If people wanted to reach out to you and to discuss the effectiveness of actually investing in property, you have properties that at the present moment that you could actually advise people on looking at their yields, and you have these opportunities at the present moment?
Absolutely, yes. We would probably create, if we haven't got a leased property, we're actually finding that the tenant market is quite strong. There's every prospect that you could buy a property vacant, and within 90 days you'd have it leased for 3 to 4 years.
Wow.
So provided people understand what they're going into, and they recognise that they've got the financial discipline and financial resources to manage that vacancy period as they buy the property, then they effectively create their own investment. Yeah. And so we encourage people to have the courage to work with us through that. It gives them it develops a great understanding about business property and how it works.
Yeah. That's a fantastic service that you offer. What I'd like to do is I'd like to really thank you for providing this kind of insight, and I'm really looking forward to actually delving more into your wisdom around property investment. And
you're very kind.
Your leadership skills around this area, because you've got the experience, you've got the track record, you run a fantastic team at Bawdens Industrial, and if anyone is searching for expertise and wanting to understand how to actually invest and identify the right kind of property, the team at Bawdens is the perfect place to actually start. How can people get a hold of you? Which is the best way?
It's all about relationships. So it's picking up the phone and talking. And so my phone number firstly is 0417 288 975. That's my direct line. I'll pick that up, talk to you, or the office 9630 8000.
Okay. And of course they can go to Bawdens Industrial.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. Of course.
Fantastic. So thank you for your time. I really felt it's given me a greater understanding of how the team at Bawdens can actually help in identifying commercial properties, which is something that a lot of people don't consider because they find it frightening, commercial property. But once they go into detail and work with a team that's experienced, I think the fear can go away, and you can actually identify the opportunity. I'm looking forward to talking to you on many other aspects of property and leadership that you're clearly a market leader. We will wrap up the call now, and I'm looking forward to talking to you very, very shortly.
Likewise. Thanks for your time, Pancho. It's a privilege. Thank you.